I'd like to introduce our next presenter. There's an increasing number of managers and management companies representing multiple pools and operations. The challenges a manager or supervisor faces each day is multiplied by the amount of staff they employ and the programs that use their pools. This presentation will include various tools and tips for managers to multiple facilities with any size staff. We will explore areas of technology and software programs that enhance efficiency, plus the importance of a consistency in training from orientation to promotion to supervisory positions. We will also discuss numerous strategies in team building as it pertains to emergency action plans and in-service trainings for staff development. The next gentleman I'm going to introduce is from Rutgers University. He's the Aquatics coordinator. He manages multiple facilities over 3 campuses. He's an instructor trainer for the Red Cross in lifeguarding, water safety, and he also runs Rutgers Recreations Alert Training School. Please welcome Sean Sepela.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
Get that right.
Yep. Thank you for coming. Be honest with you, this is my first time presenting, and I'm a little bit nervous. Thank you. Like Chris mentioned, I'm the aquatics coordinator at Rutgers University, and I manage 4 pools over 3 campuses. Just a little background. Lifeguard staff of over 70, including the budgeting and the payroll. I oversee the chemistry for each pool. I run the in-service trainings, and I'm responsible for the training of the staff and the orientations. Okay. Some of the things that have made it successful for me as a manager have been the training and management side. I come up with checklists, demonstrations, videos, websites. Going beyond scheduling, the scheduling has been usually the biggest headache for managing multiple facilities. Not only the staff, but the programs. And then not only from the scheduling side, the monitoring of the pool. How do I maintain 4 different pools, their balancing and their chemistry? And we're going to talk about a lot of those things today. Okay. So, key to success, staff training and management. The way I train my staff, I take the approach of, do they know what I want them to know? And across the board, is it uniform? Do I give them as much information as possible so that they can do their job? So when I ask myself, when anybody comes in, what is the basic information that you need? Obviously, as a lifeguard, they come in knowing lifeguard training, whatever certifying agency that is. But is it specific enough to the pool or the facility that I'm going to have them lifeguarding in? So some of the things I do is checklist. I love checklisting. All right. I'm one of those people that say, all right, did I give them all this information? No, at no point can they come back and say, all right, well, I didn't know that. Well, you know what? You initialed here on the checklist that we spoke about it, and we talked about it, and I showed you about it. Okay? So that helps me and help them. Hey, this is the basic knowledge. This is the skill set that I expected you, to know from day one. And we're going to work on that. Additionally, I also keep opening and closing checklists. Checklists that say, all right, this is what you do in the morning. This is what you do, at the end of your shift. So I'm a big believer in checklists and how they can't screw that up. As much as they try, they can't. We all know lifeguards, and many of us have been lifeguards, and we try hard. But having a checklist lets people say, all right, did I do this? Did I do that? Sean, is there something I can do on my down rotation? Hey, why don't you check that checklist that I gave you? And it's specific for every pool, for every incident, for every situation, every program. Hey, you know what? At 5 o'clock, we have our Aqua Zumba class. Here's the checklist for that. Make sure that it's set up this way. Lifeguard knows that. And this is all a set of information that I have pre-done. Here's a list, and it's posted on the board. All right. How do I set up for a swim meet? Well, here's a checklist. This is what you do the night before. This should be done, hours before. This should be done right before. This should be done at the end. So I think checklisting gives you the basic knowledge, gives your staff, hey, this is what I need to know, and I can refer to that. And I'll talk about where I keep these things later on. All right. Another thing that I do to try and keep my staff uniform, and I don't mean just in uniform, but across the board, an equal amount of knowledge, is that I create videos. All right. Who here heard about the video in California where the lifeguards got in trouble for creating their video and having fun? I read an article about that they said they loved their jobs. They had a great time. Okay? Wrong result. Okay? Whatever your intention was, probably not the right venue for it. I think this was a better venue. When I did this video with one of my head lifeguards, it took us 10 minutes. And I just want to show you a bit of that for a second. I don't know.
Performing the water chemistry test is one of the most essential functions of a lifeguard and the most basic. The test must be recorded every 2 hours and is every lifeguard's responsibility. To perform a proper water chemistry, take the comparator block and remove the lids. Choose an area of the pool away from return lines and turn the test block upside down and submerge it below the surface at least 15 inches. Turn the block right side up and return to the control room. To begin, add 5 drops of reagent 1 and 5 drops of reagent 2 to the comparator. Be sure to hold the reagents straight up and down to get a uniform droplet. Now cap the comparator and mix. Record the readings into the logbook under free chlorine. Now add 5 drops of reagent 3 to the same sample. Mix and record the readings under total chlorine. To determine your combined chlorine, take your free chlorine value minus your total chlorine value. Once you've done that, repeat the same steps to determine your pH. In addition to chlorine and pH, you'll be asked to record a few different things. One will be bather load. The other will be the ORP, which you will read from our chemtrollers, and the temperature of the water. If you have any questions, feel free to ask a head lifeguard or your supervisor.
It was just a video, and I can explain, of my head guard, and we did a water chemistry. We took the Taylor 2005 kit, the one that everyone uses, at our facility, and I explained to the guards, this is how you use it. And we did a video, and it took us 10 minutes. And my head guards loved it. They thought it was great. You could see them smiling in every shot, shaking the comparator. All right? And they loved it. And they wanted to do other things like that. Hey, you know what? This was great. I have so many new guards that come in and ask the head guards, hey, I've never done a chemistry with this before. It's like, well, you know what? I'm in a video. Let me show you. And they were excited. So we started doing other things like that. And now everyone who comes on knows how to use that Taylor kit that we use. So it was done using the real simple iMovie on my computer. Literally, it took us 20 minutes start to finish, and they loved it. It was specific for the test kit that I had. It was an easy reference on YouTube, for orientation, the refreshers. You know what? Oh, you're not really sure about how to do the chemistry? Here's the link to YouTube. All right, look it up on your phone, on your iPad, or whatever tablet, or on computer if you're not sure. And we store it on a website that they can easily access. Okay. I recommend it for today's tech-savvy staff. Anyone literally can go on their iPhone, watch how to do it, and go step by step and take it. You're not sure? Next time on your down rotation, look up this video. All right? It's a YouTube video on how to do the chemistry, and I want you to do the chemistry when you're done. Okay? Real simple. Okay? With that video training, we also know that there are a lot of online trainings. And again, this is one of my shameless plugs for the NSPF. Anyone who is an instructor or gone to the NSPF website, all the trainings that they offer. Okay? They don't offer how to do a Taylor chemistry kit test, but very similar concept. There is one place where I have trainings for my staff. So in addition to just those video trainings, there are multiple trainings online and videos available to have your staff all of the same basic knowledge. Okay. Same with the Red Cross, online training. Okay. Video refreshers. You don't know how to do the water chemistry? Well, here's our refresher on YouTube. You don't remember how to do CPR? You're not sure? Go to the Red Cross site. Okay. So there's a lot of things online. A lot of people are online all the time. I can't get my wife off the computer, and interacting with me. That may be me, but I think it's the computer. So having this stuff available for the student, for your staff online, gives them a natural progression from what they're doing. Hey, go online, figure this out. 9 times out of 10, they are better at it than anyone else. Additionally, created my own website, all right, Rutgers Training. Now, this one I didn't create. This is a Rutgers Training website that what we do is we will periodically test our staff on their knowledge and say, hey, you know what? Before in service, you're going to go to the training website, and it's going to ask you a series of 20 questions. It'll ask you, what do you do if the lightning detector goes off? Give them multiple choice answers. What do you do if there's a suspicious person, on the pool deck? Multiple choice answers. What is the ratio for compressions to breaths and CPR? A lot of general knowledge and a lot of specific knowledge for our facilities that they must know. Things that have come up as a manager that I've noticed, you know what? I always get that question. What do I do if there's somebody suspicious on deck? Or somebody calls and there's a fight? What do I do as a lifeguard? So a lot of those questions are asked on this training website. And then as a manager, I can see the results and say, all right, this person really doesn't know anything about our facilities. This person really does. I'm going to keep an eye on this person because, I think they can progress. Head guard, supervisor, and things like that. So this is a website created for Rutgers and all of Rutgers recreation employees. But the lifeguards use it for the lifeguard training side and the CPR side. Okay. Again, it asks facility-specific questions. It gives the managers... Yeah, I'm not very good at this. It gives managers an idea of what the staff knows. What do they know? What am I missing in my trainings? Okay. And help drives the in-service. Okay. They don't know what to do if there is a fight. So this actually happened. At my next in-service, I pulled a couple of people aside and said, listen, you two are going to get into an altercation, like yelling and screaming, and we did scenario-based in-service. And it was great. The lifeguards were almost rooting. And like, okay, timeout. No, this is not what you're supposed to do. We're going to pretend. And, once they stopped and realized, what should I have done? It was a great learning experience for them. And they're like, oh, all right. And, and then the stories start happening. Like, what? This happened over at the other pool, 2 weeks ago. Or I thought this was going to happen, and I wouldn't know what to do. It's a great resource for that. In addition to that training website, I created a website. I created my own website for lifeguard information. This is a public site that I created that basically gave my staff a place to go to for staff information. And if anyone else in recreation wanted to see that, they would get that information. And go, hey, go to the website. We used to post things like all our forms. Hey, we posted our forms. here, the schedule for the week, our training school information, big news. Then we switched to, this became too difficult for me to manage alone. I'm not tech savvy. Obviously, I can't even operate the clicker. Okay? But I asked, what would be a good venue for my staff to use? So they came up with a Google site. This one's free. And they did all of this information. My head guards, I have 5 head lifeguards, and they loved this idea. And they were like, you know what, I'll run with it. I'll take it. You tell me what you want on it, and I'll make it happen. I said, well, we need some news, basically what we have going on. Some important information, our in-service dates, some other events going on in recreation. And then I have forms of those training videos. Job expectations, forms, guard tests, and resources. So all of that kind of combined for a lifeguard, you know what? All the information that you think you don't know, you can find on this website. Has our staff manual under forms. All right, you know what? You can access this from your smartphone or from your iPad. It has all of our emergency action plans. From everything from a fire in the building to lightning to a lost child to a suspicious person. Okay? You can look that up if you had to. You know what? I don't know what to do. Let me check. All right, I call the supervisor, do this, make sure this person is contacted. All that information is here. You know what? You don't know how to clean out the vacuum? Go to the training video. It's 4 minutes long. All right? You're not sure how to clean that out? This is what you do. All right? So if you have a website, get another one. If you don't have a website, get one. Right? Because I think staff today rely on information on the web, rely on things like that. Anyone ever, if you've taken a test, a take-home test, how many people have gone to Google and looked up the answer? The bloodborne pathogens test for the LGI class. All right? I'm like, I looked up the answers on Google. No wonder you got it wrong. All right? The information is here in the information I gave you. Okay? But that's what they rely on. Right? And anyone who is not savvy enough to do this, I'm sure you have staff that is. All right? There are multiple website hosting companies that you can go through that are pennies. Everyone's worried about budget. Pennies a day to maintain. They can be tailored or however simple or how complex. Again, that Google site was a free site. My head guards decided I don't have to pay anything. I can do it for free, and I'll have it up and running for Sean in a weekend. It was done. Okay. What I would suggest is find a website that you like, something that you can navigate well, and then have them model it after that. Or if you're going to do it yourself, model it yourself after that. Now, as a staff person, review the content that needs frequent updating. I can't look at it all the time. As a manager, as supervisors, we have 110 other things that we need to do. I have a staff person. Make sure that you look at this every week, every 2 weeks. Update the information. Here's the new things going on. Put it on the website. They love that. At least my staff does. And this is a Google search of web hosting companies. So there are plenty of web hosting companies out there. I don't favor any except the ones that are free. All right? Free is always a good price. Okay? And I did a Google search for web hosting, and I came up with, I think it was 2,000 pages of matches. So there are plenty of sites out there that you can tailor to your own needs. Okay. Speaking of websites, all right, who uses an Excel spreadsheet to do their scheduling? Who has in the past? Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's some software out there that has changed the way I do scheduling. All right. I used to use the Excel spreadsheet, and as my staff grew from 40 to 80 to 100, it became almost impossible to look at all these spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets with their schedules on it. So the scheduling software that's available out there today is incredible. It does a lot of really cool things. One, I think it's important. It tracks hours worked and payroll. Okay? Manages time off requests, substitutions, and more. It's easily updated for multiple facilities, holidays, events, and allows staff to update information themselves. Okay? So this is a sample of some of the scheduling software. A lot of it today, one view. I can look at it. These are the programs. These are my pools. These are the programs going on at different times, and these are just the pool programs. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, you know what? I want to offer swim lessons. What times do you have? Well, you know what? I have from 3 to 5:30 at this pool available. I have from 2 to 5:30 available at this pool, and I can look at that in one view for the multiple facilities that I have. Okay. Additionally, I can change this view to include all my lifeguards. How much staff do I have on working at a certain period of time? Okay. And a lot of the scheduling software will allow you to look at that. Not only how you set it up, but the programs, the staff, the equipment that you need. Okay. Another unique thing about a lot of the scheduling software that's out there today will track payroll. Okay. This person is scheduled for 23 and a half hours. I'm not paying them anything, apparently. And it'll give me the approximate cost, okay, which is 0, which is a lovely number. But I didn't include that in there because I gave my head guards permission to look at this and adjust things, and I didn't want them knowing what everyone else made, all right, as a privacy issue. But I can go in there, I can, fill out all this information, and it can give me an accurate number of what I'm paying these people per week. Another cool thing about some of the scheduling software was this, that they viewed their schedule. When I email the schedule out, or when I say the schedule has been published, you can go and look at your schedule. I know that Alex looked at the schedule. He knows when he's working. He knows that, all right, 11 to 2 on Monday, I'm scheduled that, and I'm scheduled 11 to 2 on Wednesday. So when 10:45 on Monday rolls around and he's not there and he gives me the excuse, oh, I didn't know I was working. Well, Alex, I know that you looked at the schedule. What do you mean you didn't know you were working? Oh. How soon can you get here, Alex? I'm on my way. All right. And that's not only good for me, but it's good for them. They have a place to go to, look at my schedule. It's not, hey, you know what? You're going to work this. And it helps me out because working multiple facilities, managing multiple facilities, I have to say, all right, you're going to work here on this day, here over on this day. 2 weeks, you're going to change. It's going to be here and here. Oh, your schedule changed because of basketball at night? All right, well, you can't work that. We're going to change that to this. And I'll know that they'll always know as long as they're looking at their schedule. It also allows them to do that, how they receive their information, sets up their schedule preferences, and say, you know what? I have class Friday night, 9 o'clock. But I'm available here. I'm available there. So when I have 100 lifeguards and somebody calls me and says, hey, you know what? I need a shift covered today. And you're like, I don't have time to call 99 lifeguards. But I can go on here and say, click on that person's day or whatever they're scheduled for, and it will give me a list of everyone else who's available or prefers to work that time. So now instead of calling 99 people, I'm calling 20. Or I'm sending a text to 20 people and say, hey, I need you to work right now. Can you do it? Much more effective as opposed to waiting and calling and texting 100 people and getting 99 responses saying, today? Do you mean where? No. I can text it. I know exactly when they can work. Okay. It also allows, a lot of the scheduling software today, allows for shift trade. Okay, you know what? I can't work next week because of an exam or an event. They post it and say, all right, it goes out to every lifeguard, can't work this day, can anyone cover my shift? and people pick it up themselves. Oftentimes, I don't know people need a shift covered until it's covered, and they need a manager to approve it. Okay? A lot of scheduling software out there today, again, a Google search, because I am not tech savvy. I Google, easy enough. Some of the reviews and all the things that they can do is available to you for whatever size, company or staff that you have. All right? There's a lot of the reviews, a lot of it very similar. Rutgers uses When to Work only because another department started using it, and we got a discount for recreation for using it. Okay. But a lot of the ones that I looked at all have very similar features to that. So scheduling software helps, the staff. It helps them create a consistent schedule. Takes the burden off of me not knowing, all right, who's going to show up for that shift. I know that they saw the shift. I know how much I'm paying them, how much my budget's going to be for how many programs that are going on. Scheduling software is really, it has helped me manage so many more facilities and so many more programs. I can look at when programs can come in, what staff I need. The staff manage themselves through that scheduling program, substituting, requesting time off, when I'm available. I have all their information. It even chooses how they receive their information. Hey, when I publish the schedule, do you want a text? Look at a text. Do you want an email? Yeah, I want an email. And they can choose those features and get them themselves. All right? You decide how you want to receive the information. Schedule's published. How are you going to get it? I get it by text. Oh, I get it on my smartphone. Or I get it by email. Okay. You can't beat that. And then you can, as a manager, go in and say, I know you saw the schedule. Better be there. I'm going to call you. So, as another part of being a little more tech savvy was remote monitoring. Okay? Working at multiple facilities, multiple pools. Before we had some form of this, it was, all right, I have to go physically visit the pool, all right, or ask the lifeguard, what is the chemistry reading? Do my own readings. I want you to go down and check this out, or go here and look at that. Remote monitoring, this is going to be where I make up a lot of ground as opposed to being on site. As a CPO, okay, I am responsible for the chemistry of my pools, all right, and everything that's going on in the pools. Okay. A lot of the high-tech options right now for remote monitoring of water chemistry is wireless web-based sensoring. Right. This, I couldn't black that out, again, because I don't know how, but this is just an example of remote monitoring. This is web-based. You can go, if you were to get this control system, it would be a web-based technology that you can go and it would be linked to your pools and the location, the warnings, managing, and things like that. You can do that all remotely from your iPad, your tablet, from your computer. All right? And it gives you your information, your CPO information, your pH level, your overfeeds, your ORP, and things like that. It gives the times, and your readings. A lot of the companies now are starting to develop this web-based monitoring, so that operators such as you can know what's going on at multiple facilities at any given time. Okay. Remember that website I was talking about that we had made? Okay. Well, under job expectations and forms, here we created our own version of this. This is a little low-tech option as opposed to the thousands of dollars for remote sensoring. A low-tech option where they do the chemistry online. They enter that information into the computer. So after they're done writing it down in their the tablet, they go here, they choose the pool, and they enter all the information. Okay. They do all of the information that I would need as a CPO, they enter so that I can always know, wherever I am, what those readings are. And my lifeguards actually put this one together. This is a Google form. Apparently Google's going to run the world. Okay. But this is a Google form, and it took that information and it puts it into a very similar set as what that expensive remote monitoring system was. It took an extra step as a lifeguard entered it, but I got the same information. I can go to this website, and it gave me what pool and all the readings. All the information that I needed, the lifeguard, comments that I need. Hey, pool set long course. There's 50 children in the pool for this camp. Right? So all of that was done as a low-tech option, as opposed to spending thousands of dollars. The lifeguards came up with this. Lifeguards, hey, you want this information? We can enter it. That's not a problem. Okay. And some of the other things that the lifeguards helped me look up were apps. And I don't know I think this community of people in this room and at this conference drive the need for, the apps. And Alex spoke about some of the apps that NSPF is creating. Okay. But there are a lot of other apps out there that we as industry professionals can say, hey, this is what we need. All right. And just a couple, again, the shameless plug for the NSPF, their apps, but Pool Snap and Pool Monitor and Pool Boy, and there's a lot of companies here today that have the ability to develop apps. The Red Cross, the First Aid and the Hurricane and things like that. All right. Apps are going to be the wave of the future. People are using their phones and their tablets to do everything. So I think that little bit of technology is going to move us forward to help managing pools. So, some other helpful hints. I like to keep a database, of my lifeguard profiles. How many times have you been surprised when a lifeguard comes up to you and says, you know what, I think I'm expiring next month, day, week? Like, really? You're telling me now? As if I could recertify you right now, go in peace. No. Okay. So I have to keep a database of, I take a picture of the lifeguard, give me the information that you need, and then on that website, I have a list of when their certs expire, okay, and if they've taken any trainings from me, all right? Classes they have taught, contacts they've made. And I try and delegate whatever I can, especially website, because again, obviously I'm not tech savvy. But there is a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old out there that knows more about this than I ever could, who would love to do this. You know what? Hey, next down rotation, bring you into my office, set you up with a computer. I want you to adjust the website. Oh, yeah, great. And they feel great. And I feel great because I had something for them to do that didn't involve, cleaning out the vacuum. Schedule management, hey, you know what? You're going to be in charge of all substitutions. I need you to be the person. If somebody calls within 24 hours of their shift and they must have a sub, or they're sick, or they got into a car accident and a fender bender or whatever it is, you're going to be the person that takes care of that. I'll send them to you, and you're going to be the one to make sure that their shift is covered. In-service training records, all right? Again, that's all on a database. I need you to take all of these forms, all 100, and put them into this database of how people performed, who was been written up in the last month, all that information. You're going to be in charge of that. I delegate whatever I can. Okay. All right. So, in conclusion, train your staff the way you want them to act. All right. They need the information. So whether it is in-service trainings or doing videos, whatever it is, make sure that you train them how you expect them to be, whether it be through checklists or the orientation process or their trainings. You need to dictate that, because coming in with a certification does not necessarily mean that they're going to be your star lifeguard. They need to know the information. Right? So give them every opportunity to learn how things get done. All right? Whether it's standardized training through the NSPF or the Red Cross or whatever it may be, make that a standard. Right? And then give them access to the information. Like I said, my lifeguards, everyone has a copy of the staff manual available to them. It's online. Here. You have a question, you're not sure who to contact in an emergency, last page on the staff manual. Get on your phone. Oh, there's an emergency, or there was a near drowning and you have to fill out an incident report. Who do I call? You know what? All that information is, there is no guessing. You can have access to that information. All right? Whether it be on a website that you create or your staff creates. Orientation checklists through videos. Hey, there's the video. Mm-hmm. Of course not. That's my luck. And then give yourself access. Okay. Give yourself access. Give yourself, the ability to manage in multiple areas. Too many times I've heard other managers and supervisors like, I just don't have time to do all of this. Well, there's the trick of being in two places at once. It's actually happened on Tuesday night when I got here. The lifeguard called me up and said, the chlorine keeps going down in the patio pool. It's like, I'll tell you what, give me 5 minutes, set up the internet access, and I'll call you back. And I looked at it. The ORP kept going down and down throughout the day. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I need you to go do this. I need you to go do that. And it was as if I was there. I could look at all the information, all the stats, and say, something's wrong. All right. A little bit more digging, I found that our flywheel wasn't spinning, and that's why it looked like it wasn't feeding. So I said, all right, go down, turn this valve and turn this valve. All right. Let it run for 5 minutes, turn it off, and you're good. Work like a charm. It's like, wow, that's magic. Yes, it is. It made me feel really good that this, was working. All right. So, I guess we're going to open it up to questions now. Just wanted to plug that some of the roundtable discussions, overcoming the biggest issues for facility managers, will be at a roundtable discussion from 12 to 1:30, and the NSPF would like to ask how they can help. Okay. So, sir.
At Rutgers, all this training material that you've developed, which is excellent, by the way, have they provided an LMS? Are you connecting that into a management system at your facility, so that everyone that accesses it can actually keep track of what they're doing?
Management-wise or student-wise?
Management systems, pretty commonplace in many industries now, and I would think at a university it probably would be doable to have something like that. I didn't know if you were already using it.
That's a good
let
question.
us repeat that question, please.
Okay. The question was, with our training sites and our training website information, are we using a learning management system to track that? We actually created this so that we could track our own staff. So it is sort of a learning management system where we actually see the scores of what people do. When they do their CPR testing, when they come in for a practical, the way this works is they will take the online test, and then they will be given a date. You need to meet with this person to set up an appointment to show your practical skills. Practical skills, we have a checklist there as well. Say, did they call 911? Are they doing 30 compressions in 2 breaths and things like that? And then that information is entered so that we can look at it, come back and say, you know what? We are missing this step most often. Or 80% of our staff miss this step. We need to reinforce that. Right? So we developed that whole system with our intent to train, and that's how we use that. It's nothing, I don't know if it's proprietary or whatever it is, but Rutgers does that. Yes.
So the question was the motivation for the staff. How do you get them to do it, correct?
That's going to be difficult in any situation, absolutely. What I like doing is, we try and make it a fun environment. Now, when the kids in California did their video and when my lifeguards looked at it and said, well, it doesn't look that bad, I had to explain to them, all right, you're representing this company. You can't do things like that. I love that you're having fun, and if you want to make a video, great. If you want to do something fun, tell me what it is, and I can help. Right? I find that when I do trainings, I used to, as a lifeguard, I hated in-service trainings. Go in, swim, do my skills, leave. Miserable. But I started doing things like, anyone here watch the show Survivor? My wife got me into the show Survivor, and how the weird, little contests that they do was a lot of fun, and I got excited watching it because a lot of it has to do with swimming and team building, and I thought that was a great concept. So I started creating, with my head lifeguards, competition-style in-service trainings and say, all right, instead of swimming 500, we are going to pick teams, and you have to get objects from the bottom of the pool. All right? And then bring them all the way across. As a team, you must, carry this person in a wetsuit all the way, across a 50-meter pool. And then get out and do CPR. And who's going to do CPR? And they found that more exciting. And they, nobody complains about coming to in-service. When I have 100 staff, 90-plus lifeguards, keeping 90-plus lifeguards motivated is difficult, especially when it comes to in-service training. Listen, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to have fun. And they realize it. Hey, we're going to have fun doing this. And they don't mind coming into work. They don't mind being, with their fellow lifeguards. As far as motivating them for surveillance and diligence and lifeguarding, that's tough to do. So, you know what? One thing I do think works is when I scare them. Listen, I've been a lifeguard for over 25 years, and I've made one rescue in my life. One real rescue in my life. And it scared the crap out of me. I saw somebody, and they looked at me, and they had that active drowning response, glazed over their eyes, and they were looking at me, and I had tunnel vision. Oh, my goodness, this person's drowning. And it's my responsibility to save them. So after I'd saved them, after I'd pulled them out, all right, got them to the side, and he looked at me with those glazed eyes like, you just saved my life. And we were both speechless. I said, I pray to God, you as a lifeguard never have to see that look. All right? So we do everything we can before we get to that. And that usually scares them enough to say, you know what, I better keep watching the water. I hope that answers your question. Yes?
From a regulatory standpoint, I'm not sure who inspects your pools. Do you have an agency that comes in once a week or once a year that inspects your pools and makes sure you're complying with regulations of your state?
Our state regulations?
So the question is, state regulations coming in, who comes in to inspect?
And the documentation, it appears to me that your documentation for your pool chemistry is everything's kind of online, or do you have a hard copy?
We have a hard copy as well.
I didn't know if the state agency, are they okay with looking at online, or are they looking at hard copies? And how often do they come in and look at your pools?
So, and I'm repeating the question for the camera, is that you're asking, does the agency come in with the hard copies, who inspects them, and how they gather them, and how they, collect them? Is that correct?
Okay. All right. Well, in New Jersey, the health department comes in and inspects our pools, and they have their own checklist of things that they look at. Okay. Our chemistry is not only done online, but it's also a hard copy. I need you to record this every 2 hours so that I don't need to go online to look at it. I can just walk into the guard room, look at it, and see it. Okay, so there has to be a hard copy there. What else? Just as far as all the other information, it's actually a second backup. The state requires that I have a physical copy, but I can also print one from my chemical controller. I can print one online, and all of those items will match. Okay. Yes?
The website that you've created, is that, I'm assuming some of that's proprietary information? Is it password protected, or are you concerned at all with that going anywhere else?
So the
certain parts of
Rutgers-
the information, I'm sorry.
Yeah. The question is the website protected passwords and who can get into it? Is that correct?
A section of the website is password protected. So you can only go on to the disciplinary forms or the contact information or certain things that we deem a little bit sensitive by having the username and password. And it's me and my head lifeguards, the only ones that have that information. Everything else is all a public site that they can go on. Hey, and there's nothing on there that is sensitive. Okay.
I guess that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions? If you like to speak about what you saw today, please. I know Sean will be available at any time. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.